Hello friends, how are you today? I hope you're well. I'm just jumping in before this video starts just to introduce a new sort of segment here on my channel, which is just uploading a few snippets from interviews that I've done, because I feel like you guys haven't really seen my interviews. So I just really wanted to share a few with you. In this video, I got to speak to the amazing Andrea from Lacuna Coil, and he opened up about collaborating with artists like Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. Also, he spoke about how the band can tell when a song is going to hit live and which Lacuna Coil tracks he never tires of playing. I really wanted to give you guys a glimpse into my work, what I do, and that is talking to really cool musicians. Anyway, let me know down below if you like Lacuna Coil, if you've heard of them, or even if you haven't. If you're after the full interview from this snippet, please go to the description and there will be a link in there that will take you to the full interview on Heavy Magazine Australia's YouTube channel. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrea from the band Lacuna Coil from Milan, Italy, and I'm here to talk about the next upcoming projects like the tour in Australia, and really glad to be here.
Oh, lovely. Thanks so much. Australian fans last saw you at Good Things Festival in 2022, where your set was described as one of the best sets of the day. Did that
Oh wow.
reception influence the decision to return for a full headline tour here?
No, actually, I just heard now that these comments, so it's great. But obviously, we had a great time on the festival, and I always love to do festivals over there because there's always such a great lineup of mixed band, and different
Yeah.
genres, different vibes of metal and rock. But obviously we wanted to come back because we have a new record to promote and we don't come there so often, obviously for obvious reason of distance and
Yes.
cost. But we really enjoy every time we're there. We know we have a very solid fan base, and so we couldn't wait to be back.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're just it's about time now. Now we've
Yeah.
done a lot of touring as well last year, and it's the perfect way to kick off the new year with some different places that we don't see that often.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Oh, we're so excited to have you guys back. And as you were saying, we haven't had a Lacuna Coil headline tour in about a decade. Is there a favorite memory of yours from past tours here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great times, because when we come in Australia, it's so unique for us that it's everything is special, even just last time we went to the I know it's a bit of a cliche, but to see the koala and the kangaroos.
Yes.
And that's it could be a cliche, I understand, but it's also very very
Oh,
special for us, because we don't get to do it all the time.
yeah,
And the cities are beautiful, and I love all the cities in Australia. There's so much nature. It's very different, obviously, than Europe. And when I'm there, I really feel I'm somewhere else, like
yeah,
because when we normally tour a lot in Europe or in America and in the United States, and that's kind of not the usual, but a little bit of the usual. While coming in Asia or in Australia, it's a bit more special, because you know you're not gonna come back next year again. It's
yeah,
something that you can only do certain times of the year, and
yeah.
and yeah, it's special, definitely.
Yeah, see, I've always wondered. So it sounds maybe cliche to other people coming to Australia to see our wildlife, but I think that's what makes Australia special. One of the things that makes us special. What would some of the wildlife be like if I went over to Italy? Like what kind of animals could I cuddle over there?
It's very bland. Like there's nothing
Oh,
super dangerous. Like
yeah,
we have bears, foxes, horses.
yeah,
The classic farm animals, plus some eagles. There's quite a variety because Italy is a small country, obviously, but there's a big variety of plants. There's
yeah,
because the north we have the big mountains, the Alps. And in the south, we have the highland, which are very close to Africa, sometimes closer to Africa than to North Italy, like
yeah,
Sicily. And so it's very different. Like the north is more cold and more similar to Central Europe, and the south is more similar to North Africa or to Greece.
yeah,
So there's quite a variety of landscapes, in a small country.
Yeah.
That's why we have a lot of different tradition, different food, different wines, different, but yeah, definitely not as dangerous as in
Yeah,
Australia.
that's true. Oh, that's so cool. And look, I really love hosting the shadow. There's something especially raw about that song. When you first heard Randy Blythe's vocals come in, what was your honest gut reaction?
We were super stoked because Randy, beside we know he can sing, obviously he can make the parts great, but we know him since 2004 when we did
Yeah.
Odds Fest in America together with Lamb of God, and we became very close friends because we spent the whole summer. An Odds Fest back then was like a summer camp for bands. We were
Yeah.
all sharing same backstage, everybody there all day and eating together, and spending the day together, and so we became very close with him and the rest of the guys, and we stayed friends for a long time. Every time he comes to Milan, we go see him, or we go out for dinner, or he come to visit us for a couple of days. So it's more of a friendship, not
Yeah.
just respect for the band or for the singer, for the music. Obviously, we're fans of Lamb of God, but we're also it's the first person we thought when we want to have him in our record because it's a very important figure for us, even beside the music.
Yeah, yeah. So collaborating with him, because you guys were friends, did it just feel natural?
Oh yeah, yeah, very natural. And
Yeah.
we send him. We knew we didn't have to ask him even. We just tell him, Randy, please do some vocals on this song,
Yeah.
and he just did it the next day, send it to us, and that's it. Very easy, very fast. And same
Wow.
for we just shoot a live video with him in a festival in California at Aftershock. And even there, we were sure he was gonna do it. It's
Yeah.
not there's no bullshit like label bullshit or problems. With Randy, we knew we can count on him, and he can count on us as well. For whatever he needs. So it was the most natural collaboration, especially because we haven't really done any vocals collaboration in the past. So it
Yeah.
was the first one, and we wanted to have him for sure as the first guest, and then we also had um, and the singer of New Year's Day with us, and then she was also we toured together, so we already had a very good vibe with her, and
Yeah.
she did a great job. And when we got to do the song together in America for a few shows, so she's great, and she did exactly what we needed. We wanted a voice that was more of a rocking voice,
Yeah.
uh, not so operatic or classic clean voice, but more of a raspy rock voice. And she did a great Ash Costello from New Year's Day, and then we were super stoked to have her as well. She was a very sweet girl.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a beautiful sort of harmony between all three of you, you and Christina and Ash as well.
Yeah, yeah, she did perfect on the song, and it was a very good experience. We didn't know what to expect because we never really got. I mean, we got some guest musician in Delirium, the album Delirium. We
Yeah.
had Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge but he was doing lead guitars on the
Yeah.
record, and we had Mark from Nothing More also doing guitar solos. So we had some other guests, but never singers. So it was the first time, and we really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. And just quickly back to Randy again, he had the vocals down in a day, did you say?
Yeah, yeah, he sent it the next day. Basically, we gave him a little bit of a idea of what we wanted, more or less of a little guide
Yeah.
pilot, and he did it in one day and sent it.
Jeez, that's so crazy.
He did it in his wardrobe, actually.
Oh my God. Jeez, that just keeps
He
getting better.
recorded, he put the mics in the wardrobe and recorded.
Wow. Wow. That's Jeez. I love that song. And look, tracks like Never Dawn and Hosting the Shadow have already become fan favorites. How quickly do you know when a song is going to translate powerfully in a live setting?
You never know because sometimes some songs that sound great on the record, then maybe they're a bit boring to play live, you know. So
Yeah,
some songs they're very exciting on the record, and then when you get to see what you play in the song, maybe not so much for the singers but for the musicians, you know, they maybe they seems to be really cool to play, and then they play, and it's kind of boring. You know, it's
yeah,
always the same part, and so you never know until you actually go on tour. And also, I think you never really master the song until you play it on tour, you know,
yeah,
because no matter how much you practice it at home or in the practice room, when you go live is when you really learn the song, you know, because
yeah,
you have to play it no matter if you hear yourself well or no matter how loud it is, how unbalanced the sound can be. Yeah, so you need to do it every night for a certain number of nights until it becomes automatic in you. You know, you
yeah,
have it and then you have it and you will have it forever. You know, you just have to maybe just go listen to it just to remember it. But then, you know, it's like when you go on a bicycle, really. You know, when the
yeah.
time you, even if you don't go on for 5 years and then you take the bicycle, you after 10 minutes, you know, you're back just the way it was. And same for the songs, you know, once you learn them and you play them for a couple of tours, you have them in you, you know.
That's it. That's it. And
Also
is
the mistakes, you know. If you
yeah,
make mistakes, the same mistakes are gonna be there again.
exactly, exactly. Is there a song of yours that you guys tend to not play so much live anymore that you absolutely love and want to play more live again?
There, obviously, it's usually more exciting for us to play the new songs, you know,
Yeah,
because the old songs we play them for so many years, so many times, that's not so as exciting as playing the new stuff, you know. But there are certain songs that we have to carry. We just try to shift them a little bit, to change them a little bit, play around, you know. Maybe one tour we do Heaven's Lie and Swamp, another tour we do Our Truth and Enjoy the Silence, another tour we do Trip the Darkness, Spellbound. You know, we
yeah,
try. We are at that point where we have enough songs that are enough popular to even if you don't hear Evans, you're gonna hear Spellbound or you're gonna hear so you can we can play a little bit with the classic songs so we
yeah.
don't have to play always the same, you know. And but certain songs more or less are gonna stay with us all or like Heaven's a Lie or you know
Yes,
Swamp. Those songs are more or less
the
in
classics.
one version or another. We always have to play those, you know.
Yeah, you do. Otherwise, people will get angry.
Yeah.
And in the early days in Italy, what did success even look like for you guys? Was it selling out a club, getting signed, or just surviving another tour?
Yeah, it's been very step by step. You know,
Yeah.
we've been fortunate enough to grow up in the era where bands could still develop. You know, you didn't
Mm.
expect you to do one record and boom, explode. You know, there was no internet, so it was a time where you have to go door by door, play every city, interview with every magazine, with every
Yeah.
fanzine, and bring the name out. You know, and then support this band, support that band, and you know, make your audience wider and grow album after album. So our success came on the third record, Comalize, and which was usually the classic make it or break it record. You know, back
Yeah.
then, the third record was the most important. Like it was the one either you bring you to another level of band or you're gonna stay where you are. You know,
Hmm.
so that luckily that record was Comalize, and he really
Yes.
brought us to a much bigger level as a band.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Italy especially it was hard because it's not the typical metal market in Europe,
No.
you know. There's
Yeah.
places like the UK or Scandinavia or Germany which are much bigger than the southern countries of Europe are a bit slower on metal. So like Spain, France, Italy, Greece, it's a bit more not as metal as the rest of Europe. But now it's changing actually, especially France, maybe because of the success of bands like Gojira
Gojira. Yeah. Yeah.
become a much more solid market for metal.
Yes.
Spain is still growing, and Italy is also for us is good because we are kind of a unique example. Let's say, you know, we are the first
Yeah.
band that has a kind of this international success, and that in reflection of that, we got to do some more mainstream stuff also in Italy that brought us to a different level. But in general, Italy it's still not as good as other places for metal, even for international bands, you know.
Yes.
Uh, some bands that in Germany they do arenas, maybe in Italy they do a club, you know, because
Yeah.
it's not as big as it is, you know. Beside, unless you're talking about Metallica or Iron Maiden. Those are names that always work no matter where, you know.
Of course, yeah.
But so it's been interesting to develop also, and I think nowadays there's more Italian bands that are able to tour and to make an international career, also thanks to the our experience, you know,
Yeah,
because we open doors for everybody else, you know.
definitely. How does it feel to be like the front runners really getting like more of the metal from Italy out there, like the first kind of
It,
band?
it feels old, like you feel you're old because you've done
Yeah, it
it.
feels old for me
Oh,
too because I'm like, I
yeah.
remember when your third album came out, and I'm like, oh, it feels so long ago.
No, but we're still very curious people.
Yeah,
That's why I think we still do this, and we're still able to make some records that are still developing new crowds and still interesting for people because we are still very curious about music. We don't listen only to the classic band, but we're also very curious about the newer bands. Our guitar player, bass player, and drummer, they all produce underground bands, so they keep in contact with the different reality of the younger musician nowadays, you know, which is very different than when we started, and that help us keep an open eye, sorry, an open ear, and an open eye as well on what's the music nowadays. You know, for
yeah,
us, it's important. And when we release a record, even if you realize it's a Lacuna Coil, because we do have a certain sound, certain characteristics, but it still has incorporates something that makes it a record that has sense in the contemporary world, you know, that has a
yeah.
meaning also nowadays. You know, it's not something that just repeats a formula of the 90s or a formula of the early 2000s.
No.
It's that, but plus some more contemporary elements, you know, because that's what we are as people, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I can definitely hear the change that you guys have made in your sound, but in a positive way. I feel like you have always incorporated newer sounds with your older sound as well, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's our classic sound which we can't escape, obviously, because it's what we are,
Yeah,
and we have been developing for many years. And I think we do have our unique sound that you can always recognize, either you
yeah,
like it or not.
that's
And
it.
then we released a record in 2025 last year, and we want that record to make also sense in 2025.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, no, that's it. Oh, Andrea, I could talk to you forever. I'm sorry, I've gone over time already, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you.
Thank you very much, and see you in Australia.
That was Andrea from Lacuna Coil. Truly wonderful talking with him. He was such a lovely person and so interesting to get to talk to. As always, don't forget to follow me on my social media. And also, just a quick note that we're so close to 3,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am thinking of a giveaway and I have it pretty much all planned out in my head. So once we hit 3,000 subs, watch out for a giveaway. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.